being beckoned for this totally organic intro.
Oh, hello out there! I didn't know you'd be stopping by today.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Would you like to check out the van?
I guess so.
Well, you're just in luck. We're about to do a tour.
A tour? Wow.
So it's a 2018 Ford Transit, and we went with Ford rather than a Mercedes or a ProMaster because the Fords are the tallest. So we have the high roof version, and it's a medium wheelbase, which is pretty cool because we can fit in like regular parking spots. So if we're in a tight space, we don't have to worry about this huge van. So the two main things that we did here in the cab area is first the swivel seat, which we went with the cheaper version of the swivel seat. So it's really tough to turn it around, but it's not that worth it. And then the second thing we did was to put this shelf in here. So before, this whole upper area was just empty, but you can see you don't really need that space. Like, there's enough headroom here. So we added this shelf and then put in this cupboard. We have this thick insulated fabric, and it rolls down to be a divider. So when we're sleeping or if we ever just want privacy, we open this up and roll it down. But there's also a lot of storage back here. So we have our sheets and some other stuff up here. And I added some twinkle lights on this fabric, so it makes it really cozy.
Yeah.
And nice.
Oh, good. Oh, gosh. This is the floor. Okay, we put, I think, an inch of insulation, and then just plywood sheets, and then this vinyl walnut colored flooring, American walnut. It's real nice. There's 2 inches of insulation in it, and then we had to run wooden planks across the ribs of the van, and then you take these big beadboard sheets, we glued them up, and then we nailed them in specific places so that it fits the curve of the van. And yeah, we cut a hole in the van, put this sky roof in, but then you just have like a big hole here. So we had to finish around the edges. When you want it open, you don't want bugs getting in. You have this little screen that we made. This is the highlight of the van, if you ask me.
Why?
Look at this. It's amazing. It's just so sleekly done. It's a Larry masterpiece. Other hole was the something fan, Max Fan Master.
I think it's a Max Air.
Max Air fan. But yeah, it's just like a little dome. Blocks the rain so that you don't get wet when it's open. It's all in here. So, yeah, we got a 140 amp hour battery, lithium iron phosphate battery, like lithium ion equivalent. And then we needed something to charge the storage, so we have 2 options. So there's a hookup between this battery and the actual car battery, so that when we're driving the car charges this battery. But yeah, battery is charged primarily by solar, and the solar is on the roof. I ran an electrical line coming down here in this column that goes to a charge controller that's in here that kind of conditions the electricity so that the battery can take it, and then it runs out to all these breakers and stuff, which then power like the lights or the outlets or the pump for the sink. The battery also is connected to an inverter, which we need for certain appliances. Our inverter is off until we want to use it, and then we can flick a switch and it turns on and takes as much energy as it needs for whatever appliance is being used. Oh, under the electrical cabinet we have some sensors, CO2 sensor, a smoke alarm. We got a guitar and a ukulele, and we strapped them to the top of this. Oh yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna go over the kitchen area. The first thing everybody notices is this magnetic spice rack. Just got these little jars and put the magnets in the top, this is metal, so they just stick right here. I feel bad saying that the spices were the first.
Oh no, you said it, Aaron.
Another very notable thing are these walnut countertops. We didn't have to buy this walnut. It's actually from my family. So my great grandpa was in West Virginia and cut down these walnut trees. My grandpa milled the wood into planks. So we just took all that wood from a barn at my grandpa's and my grandma's farm. Yeah, and then we got to use it for everything. So you'll see it's the countertops, it's the trim on the cabinets. We have trim all around the ceiling. Just really nice wood. So that was...
Yeah, well, okay. It wasn't just like take it from the farm and slap it on there.
I know, I was about to move on to that. Okay. So we had all these walnut planks, but obviously we needed to make them into countertops. So Ben and his dad did all of this woodwork. He has a shop in his basement, so Ben and him put together all of this. Like, if you just picture that this was a metal box, and then all of this furniture had to be built from scratch. So the framing, putting these planks of walnut together, and then sanding them down and making them nice and finished, and the beveled edges, like...
Making them square.
Yeah.
I mean, they sat in a barn for 50 to 100 years, probably. Yeah.
We love the countertops. And then over here we have a sink. I think we'd both like it if it was a little bit bigger, but it does work. It's okay. This faucet was just on Amazon. It was, I think, $100, so not that bad. And the water comes from the tanks that are right here. 3 6-gallon tanks, so 18 gallons at all times. There's a tube that comes out of one of the tanks, and it goes through here. There's a pump that's pumping the water into the sink, and then after it goes out here, we have a little plumbing system. I mean, it just goes through and goes into a gray water tank. Ben's Uncle Mike is a plumber, so he helped Ben out with the plumbing. On our first trip, we would get a case of beer and then it would fill up the whole fridge. So what we decided to do was put a cooler down here, and Ben made this cooler. He said it's a DIY Yeti, but I'm not sold. Okay, so the rest of the kitchen, we have this drawer. This is our silverware drawer. Plates we keep here too. And then under here we have our fridge.
Let's hear it.
If we were gonna get the most efficient fridge, we would have got a DC fridge, just better and easier and more efficient for the battery. But those are really expensive. So what we ended up doing was getting an AC freezer. So the reason Ben got a freezer was because it has more insulation, but we want it to be a fridge. So what he did was he has a sensor in there that's constantly taking the temperature. If it gets too hot in there and we want to cool it off, it sends a signal to the inverter and it flicks the inverter on, and then the freezer turns on and like cools it off to be fridge temperature again. Yeah, then once the sensor knows that it's a fridge temperature again, then it tells the inverter like, we don't need you anymore, and the inverter turns off. So the inverter is constantly turning on and off when it needs to, which is like the most efficient way to have an AC fridge, because you don't want to just have to have the inverter on at all times. Anyway, whew, okay, so we made it through that. We have some latest additions to the countertop, which are these mason jars. Add extra storage without taking up space, which are cute and functional. That's pretty much the whole theme of the van. Cute and functional.
Cute, calm, and collected.
Cute, calm, collected, and functional. Mm-hmm. And then our fruit basket. So we looked everywhere for a basket that was going to be the right size for this. Ben ended up finding this one at Target. He had to modify it a little bit. He made it a little bit shorter, but yeah, we screwed this up here. So this is really nice. Before, we would always have a bucket of fruit that we'd be setting on the ground, and it was just a lot. So this is super nice to have.
You'd have to be like, get the fruit bucket. Did you take the fruit bucket off the table?
Yeah, it was annoying. Here we have our pantry. All of these cabinets have these a hinge support to make sure that they stay open when you open them. Otherwise, it would just fall on your head. They also have locks at the bottom. So when you close it, you have to push it a little harder so that it locks into place. And that way, when we're driving, they don't flap around and everything comes out. Here we have all my toiletries, my makeup, random stuff. And then these two sections are food. So we have these big jars full of like coffee, popcorn, some mugs, tea. We have a bunch of dehydrated food. So Ben got really into dehydrating things. So we have like beans, asparagus, spinach, raspberries, bananas. Every fruit that you could dehydrate, I'm pretty sure Ben did it. Every fruit and vegetable.
Vegetables, mainly.
Mostly vegetables. And then we have this other side cabinet. also. Okay, so on the other side of the kitchen, we have our stove. And so this just flips up, and then this is where we cook. The stove has gas from the propane tank, which is right out here underneath. You turn on the propane, we have an extra lever that you have to pull down, and then a third release so that gas comes out of here. That's where I make coffee and breakfast. I'm always making eggs for breakfast. We eat good here, okay?
Eating good in the neighborhood.
And then this other cabinet is where we have our Instapot and the toaster, some canned goods, a sticker wall that just has all the national parks we've been to so far. And okay, so the propane, there's one lever that goes to the stove, but there's also another lever that goes to this heater. Here's the dial to turn the heater on, and then all it is it just comes out of this little vent. But it's such a small space that once you turn this thing on, like, it gets hot in here real quick. Oh, I forgot to mention, we have our beautiful plants up here that we recently added. Before we had a swinging plant that was like hanging, but this solution works a lot better. There's no dirt on
Not yet.
the cushions, not yet. And we decided not to have a bathroom or shower. We're big into backpacking, so we're fine just using the outdoors for our bathroom. When we're in cities, we'll use public restrooms, so that's fine. Instead of just showering here, what we did, we just got a Planet Fitness membership. Before we had this membership, we went to campsites a lot to shower, or truck stops, which I was kind of scared to do, but private, clean. I only have great things to say about truck stop showers. And it's like $10 or $12. Okay, Ben, are you gonna show us the desk?
Who, me? Of course. This is where we would work. I sit here. Aaron sits here. Sometimes I can sit up here, lounge around, lounge. You just have all kinds of lounging options. So in order to extend the desk so that it wasn't so awkward, we made this leaf out of more walnut. Usually it slides in here and we pull it out, and then receiving holes. Line up the dowel pins, pop this in, and then there's a little hole that goes in this sconce in the floor. There's a little hole under here, pops it in. We got a full-blown working desk, just like this. Nice and big, spacious, sleep. And I bought this external monitor, glued a metal strip essentially on the back, and then we put some magnets under here so that we can put the external monitor there and 2 monitors. So that has helped a lot this new trip.
Do you want to show them the standing desk too?
We also put magnets elsewhere in the van, like such. The plant goes behind the computer. So I can have a standing desk. Also, when we're in work mode, we boost our signal so that our hotspots work better. And we got the WeBoost 5000X.
Is that true?
No.
Oh.
But there's an antenna essentially on the top of the van, and this is like the receiving antenna. You're supposed to boost your service, and it seems to work actually. Do all the downloading and uploading of files and natural things like that.
Just this morning, I did not have service, and then I literally went like that, and I had service.
I'm not so convinced, but
it does. It really does.
I think it does do something.
Another thing we didn't talk about yet was that we just shove things behind this.
Yeah, I see that you're doing that. I don't know about that.
We keep a broom back here so that I can keep it tidy. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys bed mode. When it's time to go to bed, this holds our wooden slats. And there's a table in here, and then you can also see where the water jugs are. So we have 3 of these.
4.
Well, yeah, technically 4, but we always leave this 4th one up. So we put 3 in here. And then these couch cushions are really just a king-size memory foam mattress. I got them upholstered because I don't know how to sew very well. So that was kind of expensive, but I think it was totally worth it because they put zippers in here so that we can wash them if we need to. But basically, we cut up this mattress into a perfect Tetris of cushions. And then there's one more piece.
You gonna get it out? I don't think
I
you
don't
should.
want to.
Yeah, don't do it.
Okay, so there's one more piece that we keep in the bench. We keep our bedding in there and pillows, and then this last piece of cushion. So just imagine there's a very beautiful sliver of cushion there. So we take out the cushions like this, and then we put a fitted sheet over it, and then we have our regular sheet and our comforter and our pillows, and it's super comfortable. When all the pieces are in, they stick together and you can't really feel these cracks. And yeah, since it's a king size mattress, we kind of had to cut the sides to fit the weird contours of the van, but the length of this is still a regular king size. I'm 6 feet tall and so's Ben, and when we lay down, it's long enough for us.
You could even sleep this way.
You could sleep this way, that's what Ben says.
Sure.
With your toes flexed.
6'2.5" like
It's
that.
6'2", so you can point your toes like this much. And then you sleep like this.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on where we park, if we're a little bit tilted, we might sleep like that. But yeah, we measured it to be this high so that we could still sit up if we were in bed, and sit up if you're on the couch just regularly. Yeah, we have plugs here so you can plug in your phone when you're in bed. And then that monitor that Ben was showing you, there's also magnets that go right here.
You want it?
Yeah. You can put this right there. So then we can have a movie night. I'm so excited. So now I'm going to talk about clothes storage. This is where we keep all of our clothes, which I don't know how it all fits in here, but it really actually does. This is mine, Ben's. And we just roll everything up. I'll show you. So these are all my t-shirts. And I put these elastic things in front so that it kind of all just like stays in here. And then another hack that we love is that all of these pillows actually have clothes in them. So we put our big jackets and stuff in these pillows. It's extra storage that's cute, but functional. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna show you party mode. This is what I call party mode. If it's nice and we're just hanging out, it's fun to put the blanket right here so that you can keep your shoes off. And then this centerpiece that's with this cushion that's usually right here, I push it back a little bit so you can sit right here and hang out. And if someone's cooking, you can still kind of talk to them. There's just a couple more things to talk about back here.
The Ram.
Oh, this Ram. Mr. Musey got this for us. He thought it looked really good with the walnut. It does match perfectly. And it's a conversation starter.
It's our totem.
Yeah. And then we also have these two speakers right here. And they bump.
Bluetooth compatible.
Yeah, then we call this whole area right here the garage.
We say garage. In the garage.
In the garage. It's in the garage. So you guys are up on the lingo. We just have a bunch of storage back here. I mean, it is packed tight with things in here. We have Max Tracks, we have fire starters, a bin full of shoes, yoga mats, chairs. Oh, and all our backpacking gear is all in here. We have our boots over here, and an extra water jug, tools, and then I put these shoe
Holders?
I just cut one in half and then put them both in here. Yeah, I recently refinished this door. I just got fabric and glued it on. I have a video of me doing it, so I might post that later. I also made new window covers. These window covers fit a little bit better. They're more they're more sturdy. And I think they look a little bit nicer because this fabric kind of goes with the fabric of the cushions. So, yeah. That's the van. Come closer because it's probably really windy. Yeah, it took us about a year to do. I was helpful with the design and like researching and just knowing more about van life because I was the one who was watching all about it. So I would give Ben the ideas and then him and his dad mostly were the executioners. They did everything from scratch. Like without Ben's dad, you guys, I don't know if this van could be possible, right?
That's true. Yeah.
I cannot thank him enough for everything that he did with this. And then just your whole family. Like we stayed at Ben's house a lot to work on this for like months at a time.
Well, it was quarantine.
Yeah, it was quarantine, but his mom was feeding us and keeping positive attitudes high.
Mm-hmm.
And then also my family for donating all the wood to us, letting us have that, and the emotional support of my family. Like it was my idea to kind of do this whole van life thing, and my dad was like totally supportive, totally on board. Like if he wasn't behind me and like supporting me, I don't think I would have had the guts to really do it. So yeah, I'm almost supposed to cry thinking about it. Yeah, and biggest thanks to Ben.
There we go now. I'm paying attention.
Because he's my partner in crime, and I would have never even bought the van if he wouldn't have said that we should do it. Because I couldn't have done it without you. I wouldn't have wanted to do this without you. Like, it's just fun to have you around, so thanks.
Anytime.
I love you.
I love you too.
Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm glad we finally filmed this. And I hope you know what the van looks like now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end.
Ciao. Such a nice day. We're stuck inside making the van tour.
And then I'm gonna go into like each specific area and go into more specifics. Oh, I just said specific twice. Okay.
Just
so,
say Pacific next time. What are you talking about?
like I do mason jars. Like I'm asking a question. That's what all girls do.
Why are you? Come on now.
Because I'm thinking about it.
Max Air Fan, Max fan. It's a good product. What's that noise? Keep an eye out for bears.
You think? I feel like I said it. I don't know how to say it another way. I need to take a break. So we have we actually have 3 5-gallon tanks. 10 gallon? 2 5-gallon tanks? 7 gallon?
6 gallon.
6 gallon.
3 6 gallon.
Okay, so we have 3 6-gallon tanks.